Call this meeting to order. Wednesday, June 18th, 2014. Have an invocation, please. Margie.
Dear Heavenly Father, please help us this evening as we have our first workshop of our new year to discuss the moving ahead with our roads for the city of China Grove. Help the citizens to understand and help the council as well to understand what is going to need to be needed in order to accomplish this in as short a period of time as is monetarily possible. Please watch over all of us as we leave this evening. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Margie, Alice, Glenn, Mike, and Kathy. Everybody's here. Item 2 would be a workshop meeting. Do we have a sign for this?
Yeah, no worries.
Does anybody want to
Unless
sign
I'm
up to
wrong.
speak? I'll speak on Yes.
Is it too late to sign up?
Oh, not at all. You can sign up.
What do I need to do? Am I too late soon?
Let's go on. And your name?
My name is Ruth Ray.
Ruth Ray. Okay.
And as a citizen of China Grove, my husband and I have lived here since 1992. We're in the Tierra Bonita Estate subdivision. When we first, we are retired military, so we moved here due to the military. But anyway, we think it's a wonderful small town to live in. When we first came to China Grove, we thought that our neighborhood was very nice, not really upscale, but a very quiet, nice neighborhood. And just the appearance of it now, the streets, they've continued to sort of like, it's like a big bow here, you know, that there's no sides to the streets. It's just very bumpy. They've been patched and patched and patched. And just trying to get some exercise and walk up and down the streets. It's not a very easy task for someone of younger years. And then, you know, of course, we have a lot of elderly residents who also need to be out helping with their health. And, you know, it's almost impossible for people to walk in some parts of our streets over there in Tierra Bonita. So I think the paving of the streets, and if we could just get ordinances publicized to the citizens, and then I think the place would probably look better and maybe encourage fellow citizens to join us that we would like to have as neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joyce Judy.
Joyce?
Joyce Judy.
Okay. Go ahead.
I've lived in the neighborhood since 2009. I moved here to take care of my mom. And my street is not that bad, but when I do travel back and forth to out of the subdivision, well, it's really bumpy, and I think something should be done about it.
Your street?
Not too out in LA, but it's not so bad, but I mean, it's bad enough, but not as bad as the other streets when you first come in. So I appreciate, something to be done about it. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Mr. Clement?
Thank you, Mayor Ricks, Council. Okay, for those of y'all who, I don't know, my name's Jim Clements, I'm the city engineer, and I've been working with the city council for the last few months trying to get lift off on doing some street maintenance, and to start out doing a pavement condition index that I performed a few months ago, and then, now we know how a good handle on what the condition of the streets are in the city of China Grove. And then 2 weeks ago, I brought in, the mayor had asked me to put together a 3 and a 5 year plan that would show what would it look like if we did some kind of maintenance on every street segment in the city over either a 3 or 5 year period. And so that's what I have produced 2 weeks ago. And I believe that the council had, so tonight I think what we want to do is take that, there was just a shot in the dark, and we had threw some stuff together, but it's it's up to the council to decide, okay, are we going to go with this recommendation or something different? What do we want to do? Do we want to try to do a 5 year program or 4 year or 6 or whatever? My personal opinion is that I think what I'd like to see tonight is for us to come to some level of agreement on that first year, and then some concept for the city as far as, okay, we want to be able to budget a certain amount of money every year going forward, after this first year, and then each year we'll do something, and the idea being that we'll tackle, hopefully in the first 3 to 5 years, tackle all of the streets that have structural problems with them, and those will be repaired either through a reclamation or through basic repairs and then chip seal. And once we've gotten those up to a level, then we could just do a little bit of an annual program where we could go out and just put sealants down on, just rotate around the city and do them every street every 5 years or so, and put like a fog seal, which is a really low cost application that we could do. So I don't know if I'm not doing the greatest job explaining things, but it's kind of one of those deals where I've been in all these meetings, so I'm already up to speed, and I don't know how everybody in the audience is on that, but I guess, and then, so this is common, that, when I was with the city of San Antonio, staff would sit down and come up with the 5 year paving plan, and then we would go meet with each of these districts, so it's different. We'd go meet with each council office, and they would say, no, we don't want to do those streets, we've got to do these, and this one's important because of that, and we don't know all that background too. So I brought a computer here. I don't know if we need to fire it up or not, but the idea being that what we would do there is we had 2 projectors, one firing on each wall, and we would have, one of them had a GIS program running on it, and the other one had a spreadsheet, so we would just mix and match streets until we hit the dollar number that we were targeting. We could do that, or we could just have I guess to streamline things, if it was me, I guess what I would suggest is let's just try to figure out, what I presented 2 weeks ago was something that shows you all an idea of if you were to do just a 3 year plan, you need to come up with $273,000 a year, which is a lot, and our sales tax measure is going to cover that in the 3rd year, and so if you do a 5 year deal, then you're looking at $170,000 a year, which is probably a lot closer to where our budget is right now. We could also taper off, maybe have a couple of big years, the first couple of years, and then tail it off a little bit. And if y'all just give me that information about, okay, we can budget this amount of money the first 2 years, and then each year we'll tail off of that, and then our baseline after year 5 will be a certain number, then I can take that information and piece all this together. But at the end of the day, it needs to be council deciding, at least for now, because I don't want y'all to feel like you're in a huge rush, but I think the reason we're doing this workshop is by and large because I was looking at my crystal ball and I was saying, hey, look, TxDOT and the city of San Antonio and a lot of other agencies are fixing to bid out a lot of work in the next couple of months. If we wait too long to get flat-footed, then we aren't gonna have, the contractors aren't gonna be interested, and we're gonna get either some, not a good contractor, or we'll get real high prices, one of the two, or both, you know. So that's why I guess for me, little me, my goal would be, I'd like for us to come away today with at least a good handle on, it's gonna be a 5-year deal, what funding level we got, and what's the first year.
Yeah, I think, Lynn has made some suggestions on, some of these roads that we have listed on here, we don't, there's too much of it, or we don't own the road.
We don't need those roads repaired.
We've got three roads that we need to take off, in other words.
Okay.
The first
I think I know
one,
who 2 of them are already.
the first one will be, number 19, Edwards Lane.
Right.
That is not a city street, it's a
Right.
private road, so take that one completely off. Number 1, Real Road.
Okay.
That is something that's up in question, whether it belongs to us or not, but I think we're going to have the attorney look at that, so we just leave it off for the time being.
Okay.
It's questioned from,
Wait, the one next to the cemetery is ours. I've already got that too.
that's what the county engineer is saying that is ours, but looking at the annexation, we annex the properties, not the road.
Did they send you the annexation?
The engineer, the county engineer,
Yeah, but haven't sent you the annexation unless.
they did. They did.
They sent you the annexation?
Yeah, they sent me all the
I'll
annexation.
look at it.
And we, in the annexation, we annexed those properties. But there's nothing
But
saying
not
about
the
the
right
road.
of way, not the right of way.
Doesn't say anything about the road.
It's not gonna say the road, it's gonna say the right of way.
All right.
Yeah, that's what happened on 888 or what is it, behind Bill Miller's?
Triple Oaks.
Triple Oaks, that section of Triple Oaks?
Right,
Nobody even knew we owned that road,
right,
and it's ours.
yeah.
Yeah, because of that, same deal. But, we need to look at that one, I guess, because I got
Well-
an email that said it's ours.
Like I say, I think that maybe it's an attorney item.
We just need to see what, if he's got.
This is section,
I think it's something.
He's got it.
small section,
Some little further.
15, 16, next turn to the south.
Yeah, the second one, yeah, and good, at least we know some good condition too, so it's.
Yeah, we could leave it be for now, I
It's
think.
not a priority right now. Okay.
But I would look, you have to look at the annexation deal, because they do kind of do a little legal description of what you're annexing. I mean, if you read it and it doesn't say that, then.
Do you have a 3-year plan where you can shine it up? For the people to see, I like the 3-year plan.
Yeah, I don't have a projector on me though.
It's the-
Oh, we don't have a projector, do we?
Yes, we were looking at was, I think, Lane Drive.
Yeah, and I did figure that one out, because on the tax rolls, it shows private ownership on that.
Okay, but it's
Part of it.
part of it. We've annexed up to where it's paved right now. And my understanding is a mile easement, or was a mile easement from the end to the highway. So I would say only maybe 2/3 is probably in the city.
Oh, Lord, okay. So basically, the paved section is over
Yeah.
here, or?
Yeah, just that paved section is what
Should,
it
we
is.
could give you the address, like by Linda's.
Yeah, the Linda's property,
You know,
Yeah. Linda.
My best guess would be something in the neighborhood of 2/3 of a mile, or something like that.
About where.
Yeah, I drove it, so I
dashes-
never turned it there, you
Where the dashes are, for
know.
the.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Just, it's like up to theirs where it's paved and supposedly our maintenance.
Well, this dash line, it's the city limits, that's not the official one, we just sort of, I have my CAD guy kind of draw that in, so using the best data we had, but.
Yeah, but I mean, wherever the city limit stops on Lane,
Okay.
and that's basically about where the pavement is.
Isn't that back part of our town?
Yeah, it would be,
The back part is in our ETJ,
TJ, but it's not.
but it's not in the city. It's in our ETJ, but it hasn't been annexed.
Okay.
And we can't annex unless they petition to be annexed.
Okay.
Okay, so those are the only three?
This is the BCAT account. This number right here, and here's the actual account right here. Starts at Highway 87 and goes south. That's adjacent property.
This is the actual property, or a property that you know.
That's what that means.
That's gonna be that would be the long track. Yeah.
That's a deep.
You know, a copy of this, I can pass around if you want. Yeah, okay. I mean, this is basically what I handed out. I do want to hand on that one.
You say that the red ones are most important, I mean, the blue ones, and then the yellow ones, and then the blue ones.
Right.
Okay.
And then that same thing on that first map is, I was just showing the same colors here, so you might not get it. How much on the board, you know.
Jim, you just have one of those. You don't have that one.
This is.
You don't have that one.
Yeah, I didn't know what we were doing, so I could pass this one around, but I kind of.
I know you need one to, that's okay. We had been using earlier, his plan. That's what they're kind of passing around.
Here, I'll rip off this one. Might ask for it back in a minute. You're not getting this paper, this is, I'm sure it's. Okay, right. I haven't been one of these, so I don't know.
And then this part of the paving stops here. But he's got paving, so that's the other. Jim, can I ask you a question while they're trying to decide that? On the class, the column that you have class, A, B, and C, you know, can you explain to me again what A, B, and C is?
Oh, yeah, that was early on when I was first putting the plan together,
Okay,
that the idea being that, so A and B are local streets, and that's the classification that a lot of cities use, so I have a local A and a local B.
okay,
And then the C stands for collector. So collector, so basically if you look at the spectrum of different kinds of streets out there, you go from like an alley to a local A, a local B, a local collector, and then you got a thoroughfare, and then you got your freeway system, you know what I mean? So that just gives you an idea of the relative importance of the street as far as how much traffic is on.
okay. So the collector would be, like, say, Tierra Bonita collects all the other streets and needs them.
That's our main,
That would-
Right, and Triple Tree is also,
yes, a collector, yes.
so that, and I think I had Tierra Bonita as a collector, you know, after, you know, maybe not the whole length of it, but I know those main two blocks that are the worst shape, those are collectors. So they do pick up more traffic, so it's an idea of, when we spend our money, how many lives we touch, and, you know, kind of thing, you know what I mean?
And A being
The least amount
The
of
least.
traffic.
the least amount. Yeah, B was even most, and C is the collector. And then one other, the column you have that's A, D, T. I don't,
That was my, it's again an estimate that I made of how much daily, that would be average daily traffic. So that's basically how many cars are they drive on that road. So again, you know, the road costs $10,000 to fix it, and it's got 10 cars on it, or something like that. Or you got 10,000, you got 100 cars, well, it's better to spend it on a street that has 100 cars, you know.
okay. I just couldn't remember what the acronym stand.
Yeah, that's fine. I try to talk fast because I don't want, the longer I'm up here, the more arrows come on.
Marty, Alex, congrats. We, 258, first year, so we're going 3-year plan.
Okay.
around you get
Yeah.
For 3 years,
everyone on top around approximately 250 every year. Maybe a little bit more. Plus he just got this.
we're gonna have a little bit of extra sales tax.
See, we did, yeah, we wanted that account set up to do that. Remember that money that's gonna start coming in, we need to keep that separate, Tom.
It's got to be.
I don't know if that's been set up yet.
I don't think it's going to hurt to give you at least 250 years.
Not right now.
Because you figure we're looking at budget for 18 months. We're going to 25.
From the same company.
Well, it is.
There you go.
And then once we do that, we start pushing our money in that, so.
Has to go out of town, you know, it's used.
That's right.
Money's used for that account.
Okay, so we had money allotted, 200 for this passes. Do we have money from before that? Back a year before that, when we first started talking about streets?
Well, that was probably on the 10 or 12,000.
Well,
Left passes.
But I mean,
One year, about 260.
2 years.
Only 60 and then it went to
but that's what we got this year. So, 30 or something like that.
I look back, I think 60, it was 60 and then it went to 160.
That was like 3 years ago.
Let's see. 200, you go back, 1 year it was 160, you go back, another year it was 60. Now we're what,
But we had some CPS money.
That's it? We put that in our, was that money used for roads?
But it
Was
was.
allotted for roads? Well, you know, Sid still owes us money. We should get one more installment.
It was like 30 something thousand.
I think you're right. Something like 39. I was looking into it. I don't know.
Should be there. It's right now.
We got the last check in June of last year.
We were dealing with those street lights at the time.
No, that paid for part of, that's part of the other street, right? And then we got more, I understand.
We got the big lump to begin with.
Right, and that was the street light, right?
No, not these. These are all different deals.
Yeah, that was, you had to spend money on that.
And we worked on the ones.
Yeah, we did the change of the
Time we got to this last change.
I thought last June was when y'all got the last check. But it didn't cost increases on the back.
On Lane Drive, I would think it's 2/3 of what we've got of mine. And that's on this test right now. But it's in the next year.
Yeah, no, it's not the worst. Well, it does have, that was the one that has a big water leak, people are driving the
Yeah,
field.
because everybody's water is underneath Lane Drive, the water pipes. So that was one of my questions.
Well, Saul needs to come do it, right, or,
How are we going to handle
It's a
the fact
private water line.
yeah,
that
see,
they're
now
private
Saul.
water lines, and they're all, for all those houses.
There's probably like 5 meters at the corner there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're running 2-inch PVC all the way up.
Well, I guess if, I don't really know what everything, I mean, we could if the lawyer's here, but I think you could do a code compliance type of deal where you'd send them a letter, ask them to fix it. You know, you could send them a few of those. If they don't do it, then you pay somebody and then you send them a bill, you know. I mean, it's gotta get fixed, you know. It's just by.
Is the water leaking there?
Yeah,
Juice
yeah, it's
box.
real bad. It's, you know, half the road.
It's juice box. There's juice box.
Oh, really? I always thought it was one.
Main.
People are driving around it, you know.
I think it's on his mic. Wow. You've got all the solids, different houses you've got, Linda, you've got Sherman.
Anyway, I got you, we got rates as far as 2/3 of what you got.
Yeah, Okay, I think that's one change, and then we're removing Edward Drive. Okay. And that small section of reality.
So those were in that order.
Y'all, those out here, Ted.
Yeah, they're not priorities, that's what, so we need to concentrate on the priorities rather than this right now. Okay,
In the first, the red, ones you have marked in red,
So, yeah, those are the bad streets, right, yeah.
those are the ones that are bad. Is there any word from Stavs on doing triple metal, or are you just waiting on us?
No, they, like I said, I don't know if you remember, excuse me, but when talking to them, they were saying that we go ahead, they don't need to ever trench again in the street, so they're telling me. I'll get from them in writing, I'll get a letter from them or something. You want to do that?
Yeah, definitely in writing.
I will do that, that's actually, I thought of that, but let's do that.
I think something else, Jim, that we could address in the same letter is, are they ready to finish the main water line? They were putting in the main line, the Bartlett, of course, from a 6 to an 8.
Right.
And they did triple bend, but they didn't come in and do triple metal. They were waiting for us to show them a plan on when we were gonna actually do the road. And then they would get it done right before we were gonna do the road.
And that's what we understood. And the last time I talked to their engineer, he said, we have put sleeves in under the street, so we don't have to, and the water main is in the parkway, is what they call it, not under the pavement. And now we have sleeves in there, basically conduit, that when they do, if they ever do, when they need to come and replace that main, then they can just pull the new services through those conduits without hooking the street up.
See, that's just for the service. They were gonna do the main.
Yeah, the main is-
They have to cut everybody's driveways and everything, so they're gonna be all over the road when they do the main.
Actually, the driveways are anyways.
Driveways are gonna be cut.
No, you don't know, I wasn't gonna fix any driveways. I wasn't planning to do
No,
any
we're not
driveways.
going to, but they do. Their
I got
contract.
you, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll do it, I'll issue them a formal letter, and say this is what, you know, and then get them to give us some kind of response for that. If that sounds good, I'll do it.
Because they said they were gonna do it, but as far as they left us, that we did triple bend already, and y'all still haven't done the road, and you said you're gonna be right behind us.
Yeah.
So they want a commitment that we're gonna be right behind them, because they'd go back and do a bunch of patchwork that if we did the road, they wouldn't have had to do.
Right.
They want that commitment that we're gonna come right behind them like a lead. You need to clarify it with them. If you have problems finding the right engineer or the right person over there, I can find them for you.
No, it was that one guy, he used to work at Ford Engineering, he got reassigned, and that was Joe Carino. So, I mean, I've worked with Joe for a long, long time, but I'll tell you, that group is usually out of budget, real bad. But I'll go ahead and issue him a letter, I'll copy Mayor Rich on it, or in the street committee. And I'll get y'all CC on that too, okay? And then y'all will know that I'm communicating with them, making it official that we're moving forward and we need that done. Okay?
They did the-
Looking at the 3-year, it's showing the cost us a triple metal is probably close to 100,000. Am
Believe so. Can I borrow one? That's fine. So it's a year, 3 one?
It's in the second year of this triple
I,
metal.
in the second year, it shows adding it up, it's about 90,000, 100,000.
Yeah, you know, I broke it up into little mini blocks too, as you can see in the segments, because that's just sort of the way we do our bookkeeping. So you add all those up. But, okay, you want me to do that real quick, or?
Start capital right here. Just triple metal. $2,000 for just that straight?
102,883. Three. All right, three things for triple cut. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm getting 109.
All four lines?
Yeah. Yeah. So, anybody else get that? I rounded up. Yeah, one of them.
Have they mentioned they were gonna do any more triple O's? Have they mentioned they were gonna do the other streets in triple O's?
You mean saws?
Yeah.
No. They've only done that one block of triple gun, and then they didn't even do the little cul-de-sacs either.
Right.
Okay.
I was wondering if they're long term, in the long term, are they gonna do triple branch, triple acres?
That's all, I'll have to include it in my letter or call a guy or whatever. We could have,
That's long.
I don't think the mains have failed over there. The reason why they started in there is because all the failures, all the breaks.
Those things over there are dead end.
probably,
And this other one is a loop man.
and saws typically like to loop all their lines if they can, so that if
Yeah.
you have a leak, they don't have to shut down a whole block or whatever.
Right.
But I don't know, I can guarantee you, they don't have the budget to disrupt that right now, you know.
Yeah. Going back into the first year here, this total cost that you have in there, if you could explain to the public, that kind of includes a little bit of drainage work or something along with it? On some of the streets like Terra Bonita or something?
Yeah, okay, so if you look on, I don't know, if not everybody's got this, but what I've done is I went out and I did kind of some of the parts type of deal, you know, contractors, when you hire a contractor, the way it's the tradition is that they get paid a little bit of mobilization to get started, you know, to get them out here and get set up and everything. And so that's typically, so there's all these line items in the contract. So you've got line items for, you know, putting up barricades, you've got line items for mobilization, you've got line items for preparing the right of way, you know, which is like sweeping and whatever they need to do to get the job, get ready to start the job. And so what I did is I sat down and and this was really for Triple Bend and Triple Meadow, I kind of did the cost on that already. So I already did my best cost estimate using the low bid prices right now that TxDOT and the city are getting on their jobs. So I'm just, so that is available to me. And so I put together that, so I know on average how much the square yard cost is of those streets, and then I can use that to just say, okay, per square yard it's this number, and that's where that $11 came from. And so that included some work to do to grade ditches. I didn't know exactly how much, so I sat there and I said, okay, if the road's a mile long, I'm figuring you're gonna have half a mile of ditch, you know, maybe a fourth of it, the ditches need work, maybe, I don't know. I don't wanna put the whole amount in there, because this is just this is like throwing a hand grenade at it at this level. But I did include enough money in these numbers to be able to do some of these other little things that might come up, you know, to cover that. So that once we budget, so okay, here's the budget, here's the streets we want to do. Well, then I'm gonna come out and I can guarantee you, for example, I put 20% in here for base repair on the chip seal. That's a high number. Yeah, but I was again shooting in the dark. That if you tell me, all right, Jim, we're gonna put Terracita on the list for year one, then I'm gonna go out there with my technician and we're gonna take some paint cans and mark out all the base repair and measure it, so that when we hire a contractor, it's pre-known. And is it gonna be 20%? Probably not, you know? So typically, these budgetary numbers that you see before you here are, it should be a lot more, it should, not a lot more, but it should give you some capacity in there. You're always gonna err on this high side when you're budgeting, because you don't wanna come in and say, I can do this for this number, and then we get all these bids, and then at the end of the job, I come back and I'm like, I need another $50,000 or something. I mean, that would be bad for everybody, you know? So you always wanna shoot high, but then once we go, okay, these are the actual streets, that we can refine those numbers down to, you know, hopefully they'll be within 5% or less, you know, but they'll come down, is my projection, and then we'll go out and do our thing. But we do have money in there, and my thought was is that, you know, you gotta manage the contractors, you know, that's what I find. I mean, you don't have to be there every minute of every day or they're working, but you gotta stay on these guys. 'Cause yeah. But, you know, then when we're out there, I mean, we'll be telling them, all right, we need to regrade this ditch from here to there, and we'll pay for 100 feet of ditch grading, and that's why you put it in the bid. So you've got numbers in there, you put a healthy enough number so that they don't, because if you have real low quantities, the price per that quantity is going to be high. If you have a real high quantity, it'll go lower. But what you do is you put a dummy quantity in there that it's just so you get the price so that it's in the contract. So when you tell the contractor, they need to take a blade and fix this section out of here. Now, I included money also for if they grade an area, that they would come in and seed, put Bermuda seed is what I put it as, and then water it until it starts growing. You know, that would be the contractor's responsibility to, you know, make sure it gets watered every day or whatever. So you won't just have a dirt ditch when they're done. You'll hopefully have a nice, you know, some kind of growth, you know, roots with help erosion. You know. So that's all in there.
But when it comes to some of the driveways though, I know in our area, some of the driveways have nice cements with a pipe in it, and some don't. They just have a driveway, it dips down and then it comes back up. How will the driveways be affected? Or are we going to try not to affect the driveway when it comes to grading the ditches and things of that nature?
I'm gonna try not to. See, generally what it really comes down to is that, like, I mean, because if you have like a real steep ditch, you know, a road that's got a lot of fall to it, then when it rains, it flushes out, you know. But when you got these areas that are real flat, you get a lot of silt that builds up over the years, and then guys maybe mows it or whatever. But so really, it's more about shaping that ditch back to where it was before it got all silted up, and maybe became that way. I really don't think. I mean, well, when the city of San Antonio did street maintenance, we didn't mess with driveways very much. I mean, it was really a rare deal. It would be like, usually there got to be some real good reason to get in there and touch it, because once you mess with one guy's driveway, everyone's one guy's driveway.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, nothing, y'all are wonderful people, but
But like there's one in Tierra Bonita that we're gonna have to affect anyway.
yeah, that one will have to, so there's a good
Don't
reason.
run
for it.
over it.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, there's one there that's blocking the drainage that I would personally recommend. But most of the ones that I've
That's the one
seen.
right there in the entrance you're talking about?
Yeah, it's at the block in on the right. If you're driving in, it's on the
Mailboxes?
right.
No?
I don't know, it's been a while since I looked at it. But it was a concrete approach that was put, and it didn't honor the ditch profile. And so when I went out there, it was the day after it rained, and you could see the water was just sitting there, and I would like to get that where it drains off. And that block at Terra Bonita is going to need a certain amount of love, you know, it's going to need, because it just gets real flat down there. You got curves and everything, but the water doesn't have anywhere to go. So that, and I have to evaluate it more thoroughly, but in my mind, I'm thinking, you gotta have a way for the street to drain, and we might have to get rid of the curbs, maybe put like a ribbon curb, you know, like a flush, like a header curb, and then introduce some ditches off to the side, and then grade it further down, so you'll have a positive flow going out to there. I think that would be I kind of like having the curve there, it kind of gives it a nice look. But the problem is it's causing all that water to stay contained in the pavement, from what I can tell. This is, again, going back to a memory, but,
Yeah.
you know, that's why I didn't want to try to take off that street in the first year, because I'd like to get out there, get a surveyor out there and you know, do some, only, just to let you know, I don't want to do surveying on any of these except probably that one, you know, just so I could come up with a just credible plan so it was raining, you know. That's what I'd like to do.
How much more would that cost us to do, have that done?
Not a lot. I got a surveyor, well, I mean, I'm gonna find a surveyor. You never know, it's kind of like a wild card, but
I mean, I'm just saying.
$5,000 to do that, to have a survey done and for me to come up with grading.
It's all convention down the road, you know? You do it, you pay now, pay later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I'm thinking
no, I'm
literally
saying, no,
$5,000.
I agree with about doing it, I'm
Yeah.
just curious.
Yeah, I think it's worth it, it's good money spent, but if y'all don't want it, I could redo it, but I still think it would, I don't think it would hold up very long. Because it's getting hit with a lot of traffic, and the drainage doesn't go anywhere.
That road is in desperate need of repair.
And one other question I had, on the roads where they don't have maybe heavy traffic or there's a curve in it and the grass has started creeping into the road, are we going to, and that road maybe won't be done till the third year or the fourth year, depending on our plan. Are we going to try to do some sort of killing in the meantime and then sealing those cracks where the grass has been coming up? Or are we just gonna wait till we get to the road and then do that?
I think Carol Rancho has that problem right now, with all that grass is growing into the road. I think that was
I
one of
haven't
those
thought
addressed
about
on
what
the
to do with
first
those,
year.
I had a guy in here, Benita, that had a little cart and a tank, and he said he thought water and the chemical, he go spray on it, so. I had one over here too, he moved now.
Oh. Well, I mean, you know, since the grass growing up is part of what's deteriorating the
Yeah.
street, you know, the road,
Yeah.
because it's allowing water to get in through the cracks down to the base. So I was just wondering if, you know, we were gonna try.
I hadn't thought of that. I mean, when we go in to fix the street, they'll have a nice
I know
pad
this,
when
yeah.
we're done. But, you know, that's probably not the worst idea in the world, to get the guys from around up and have them go out there and tackle some, take care of some of
As
those.
long as it's not spraying somebody's yard and they get all upset, you know?
Well, our neighbor did that, but my yard.
But the, you know, Jim, on this 3-year plan here for 2014, the way you have it set up, now these streets that you have listed, are these the streets you're attempting first? Is that going to
Yeah, that's what I
several
was,
of them?
that was a suggestion, though. I mean, it's well within the council's authority to tell me to take all those off of there and put 2016 on there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm just
Yeah,
asking.
but that was
Is
just
that-
my-
Was
yeah.
that your determination by the deterioration of the road? Is that why, or what was your purpose?
No, I knew that, I mean, there's some hot buttons, I mean, that I wanted to put a front load on there that I have not done, you know, so I know Triple Bend and Terra Bonita need to probably get that taken on first, so I
Yeah.
knew that, but after that, all I really did, if you look, and I kind of touched on this 2 weeks ago, but what I'm really doing is I'm heavy in reclamations the first year, and then less the second year, and then just one reclamation the third year, so the idea being that we would take on the worst streets first, and then gauge if there were more. And then hopefully, once we get to the point where all these are fixed, then like I was saying, every 5 years or so, you come along and put this rubberized fog seal. It's like an emulsion with rubber in it, and it goes down and makes the street look as black as brand new. It seals the road off. It's really good stuff, and you can get it instead of this $5 a yard to do a chip seal. You can get that done for like $1.25 or something. So we get to a point, and we might work some of that in here on some of the good, better streets too. This is all just a plan, you know?
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
you
well, I
know,
wasn't sure, I saw you had a section, and I wasn't sure, like, okay, are these the ones you determined first to be the most need? Or this red here says, that's,
It's just considered one way to do it, you know?
Okay.
The way that I would suggest.
okay, but this sheet is the one with priority, not
No,
necessarily.
just a condition. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a priority, because that's what I thought with Mike and some of the other guys about this, but you don't really want to just put all your money into the the worst ones, because the other ones just continue to deteriorate. So
Right,
you won't have a
right.
balance of roads, but once we, but I'm telling you, all, I think that with the amount of traffic we have, and if we do good quality workmanship, that once we get these done, then you won't have to come in and do a reclamation for 20 more years,
Right.
you know, and we'll just do the fog seals after that. But I don't really want to, you know, but if y'all, if y'all say, okay, let's just do all reclamations the first year, let's find some of the streets that are red, yeah, that's not a bad approach, you know, it's not the worst idea. And that's, the good news there is that, you know, the contractor in this scenario would have to do base repair. So that's a different material that he would have to purchase and bring in. That's the one thing that's different. If you do all reclamations, then it's all one process, so the efficiency is a little bit higher, if you follow me. So, you know, that's why the city of San Antonio had contracts that were separated by location. We didn't do, one contractor do all paving and chip seals and reclamations or something like that. We would have a contract for chip seals, we'd have a contract for reclamations or whatever, you know. And so that, in this case, like something like ramming or, you know, maybe not Clark, but there's, you know, San Antonio constructors, not Ennis, but Zoom Wall, I mean, I can name about half a dozen contractors who can do both of these. You know what I mean, that they have the capability to do both, so it's not, we're not ruling anybody out.
So we need to, what you would like us to do as a council is determine which of these streets we want to have done first.
And give me some guidance on going forward,
Well, I
you know,
agree.
budget, so I can put together a plan that, and every year we can revisit that and say, okay, we want to change it up every year a little bit. That's cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. We need to, I'm tired of talking about it. It's time to get
Yeah.
something done.
I didn't hear that.
We agree with it.
That's not gonna be every year in July, that's just for the first 3 years.
If we do 250 for the first 3 years,
You can tackle it, do everything on
Do almost all of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
all.
think so.
would that give you something to go by to put a pretty good plan together by doing some of in each color?
He's got a plan there already, let's just go with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got reclamations and chip seals.
So that may not, the money may not be,
Yeah, you got it, look off the side of it.
would you, I mean, does it match up to those numbers? Would that,
214, and it comes over how much it costs, 258, see that?
yeah.
And it goes down to 215 and 273, but you're gonna take some off that year. So we're gonna take off the Edwards. And 3 hour road, so it's not really what it is. So that's gonna knock that down, I think I have it down to 240. So 240, 78, 6 for the second year, 251, 533 for the third year. Well, let's see. I got triple oaks up to all. So we're for sure we're gonna do that triple oaks. We're gonna do it all for, we're gonna 40 year. And we don't have a citizen that live on it.
That's true.
Where we going?
I mean, that's not, to me, would be a priority.
No, no.
Yeah, they say-
The county still owns it, and they put a county maintenance ends here, and they still drive the tractor out
All
past
the
the
way
side.
through it, so, yeah, I mean,
So
why,
yeah, we can do that one, to put that down as
Towards the
a
bottom.
year.
Sure, sure.
That's Real, Edwards, Triple Oaks, and then Lane. Take them off, they're all, it's gonna be right around 250 or whatever. You wanna know exact?
Do we have some of the least needed stuff in that first year?
that's.
Yeah, see that 550? The cost over there? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the top right, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at 550, see that?
Are these some of the ones that are in the
Let's see, take,
It has to be at least one.
take 009.
They're all in the yellow.
Yellow,
They're not in the green.
base.
When you go to the TCI index there, 81, you separate it out, the green is 80 and
Right.
okay, so within that first year, looking at the PCI,
By looking at the numbers, PCI, there is none.
there's what,
There's only one in green in the first
Yeah,
year.
here in the road.
Yeah, tier cheater. For 4,000, I mean,
Oh, that little short.
yeah, little short piece.
which